Maddie, welcome to ZEE CONNECT.
Thank you, Priya.
I won't say welcome to Dubai. Dubai तो घर है आपका अब.
जी.
How does it feel?
It feels like I didn't have to travel much to do publicity.
Dubai में नहीं. How does it feel about Hisaab Barabar now? That's what you're.
Oh, you know,
about.
इतने साल हो गए और इतने प्रोजेक्ट्स रिलीज हो गए, फिर भी रिलीज के टाइम पे जो नर्वसनेस होती है, वो अभी सबसे ज्यादा है.
Really?
I think after every film it becomes even more.
Yeah.
मेरी आखिरी फिल्म थी शैतान. अब उसके बाद ये है तो you know.
Really? Do you really feel that nervousness during
very
release?
much. I'm not trying to say this for effect. I feel very nervous because there's so much riding on it. You know, when we're doing the film, it's the producer who's put in good money, the director who's hoping that this film turns out and becomes another stepping stone in his career.
Yeah.
The number of co-stars that we've had, you know, Kriti and all of them putting in so much effort. My dear friend Neil, all of them. So सबके सपने इस पे जो है ना कोई ऐसा नहीं कि it doesn't make a difference in their lives वाला situation. So it becomes very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, no, but I must tell you, I mean, of course you must be getting nervous. It's your project, and when it's due to release, you must be having those butterflies. But like every movie, every single character that you have played over the years, like you've literally, like, you know, वो बोलते हैं ना खा जाते हैं, like stolen the show in every movie, whether it's Rocketry, whether it's Shaitan, or any other character that you've played over the years. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
You know, really being so versatile. Now, talking about Hisaab Barabar, what sparked your interest in this movie?
Yeah, so you know, all of us today, when you go to a bank, earlier on we used to have these passbooks.
Yeah.
You knew exactly how much money was there in which account. You know, you're clear. Now, if I ask you, in one account, do you know exactly how much money there is? There's no chance you will know.
Correct.
No matter how closely you're keeping track of it. And you keep getting these SMSs saying, hey, this is the OTP for the gas cylinder. And you wonder, I never asked for a gas cylinder.
True.
Or this is your OTP for a gym. Like, I didn't. Or you get OTP saying 6 rupees 80 paise has been added as your interest.
Yes.
And 6 rupees 80 paise is not the kind of number that you want to call the bank and find out कि भैया ये क्या है?
You ignore it generally.
You ignore it कि भैया क्या ना दो. And then sometimes 4 rupees has been taken away. That kind of stuff. And I started feeling that I'm not in control of my account here. I'm not in control of my finances. And you know, in this movie, very beautifully the director has brought out that in one country we have two. We have in our country we have India and we have a Bharat. And we show India, we're talking about, you know, all the opulence, the cars, the drives, and India and the IPL matches and the glitz and the glamour and everything.
Yeah.
And where money just flows like nobody's business. And then there is Bharat. And you find in that same area two people arguing on the cost of bindi or कि 3 रुपए ज़्यादा हो गया या 50 पैसे आप कैसे एक्स्ट्रा ले रहे हो? हम फूल के लिए हम, you know, इतने ही देंगे. And that all exists at the same time. It coexists. So when I heard the story about how a common man who wanted to be an accountant ended up becoming a TT because his father died untimely and he was doing the accounting for the people on the street, and he realizes कि उसके बैंक अकाउंट में से 27 रुपए 50 पैसे टैली नहीं हो रहे. Not that it is missing. टैली नहीं हो रहा. And because he's in love with numbers, he goes to the bank and respectfully says, I want to know whether I'm making a mistake or whether there's a glitch in the accounting system.
Yeah.
And this India ends up humiliating Bharat. कि पागल है क्या? तो प्यून says कि ये लो 50 रुपया यार तुम्हारा 27 रुपए 50 पैसे तुम्हारे गए थे, ये लो 50 खत्म हो रहा है, तुम 3-4 बार आ चुके हो, पेट्रोल में 100 रुपए खर्च कर चुके हो.
Yeah.
And he says, कमाल है यार, अगर मैं आपको एक चेक देता हूँ और उस चेक में मेरे अकाउंट में 50 पैसे कम हैं, आप साला चेक को बाउंस कर देते हो. और यहाँ पे मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि 27 रुपए 50 पैसे कम है और मेरे को इंसल्ट कर रहे हो. एंड he says, यहाँ तो कुछ घोटाला जरूर है. And he tries to figure out what is happening and he unravels what I think is one of the biggest scams. And history has been testimony to the fact that as long as you don't tatolo the common man and his dreams, common man has very simple things यार. मेरे को अपना घर मंदिर संभालने दो, मेरे को अपना, you know, खाना पीना छत, मेरी बेटे और बेटे को पढ़ाने दो, let my daughter get married happily
100%.
and that's all the money I need for. And most importantly, you know, बेटा जो पढ़ जाए उसके फिर हम फैमिली के साथ रहें और फिर अपना, you know, old age में they want to go to their mandir, masjid, church, whatever it is, and spend a peaceful time. They have no great aspirations and they want to live within the rule. But history has been testimony, इतिहास गवाह है कि जब भी आप कॉमन मैन को टटोलते हो और आपके उसके सपने के बीच में आप अपनी, you know, कोई भी, you know, हुकूमत अगर उसके बीच में आ जाए So from the Roman Empire to the French Revolution, from the greatest dynasty's fall to
वो दुनिया हिला
वो
देगा.
दुनिया हिला देगा. Common man की जो ताकत है, वो हमने इस फिल्म में दिखाया.
Yeah. So that's what is the character of Radhe Mohan Sharma that you are playing. So he's someone who's very, very strong-headed, especially when it comes to Hisaab.
Yes.
वो बहुत ही
He's an expert. He's not very strong, and he's actually one of the nicer guys. His wife has left him, he's got a son. He lives a very simple middle-class life. All that he wants to do is that. Happy with it, teaching kids on the railway platform how to do accounting. So yeah, as common man as he can get.
Right. So during the shooting of this film, share with us maybe a particular moment that was like challenging or maybe memorable.
You know, I'm going to share this over and over again because this was unique to this film.
Yeah.
In this film, there's a scene where publicly the villain and the hero actually have a showdown.
Yeah.
Where this guy is saying, "What is your problem? You know, I'm doing what is right. And, you know, it's not affecting anybody.
Yeah.
6 rupees, 8 rupees from somebody's accounting is not, but I'm able to create such a big."
Correct.
And Radhe Mohan is saying his own point, okay? And while we were shooting it in Mumbai, there were a crowd of about 500 people watching it. And because it was a loud exchange of dialogues, they were understanding what was being said. And to my utter surprise, I was seeing people discuss this vehemently throughout the whole night. We used a night shoot. They were looking at their phones saying, "Nahi, ye dekho jo keh rahe sahi hai. Itna to ye ho gaya, ye galat hai." And they all got into a debate and they were all talking. You know, it was very difficult for me to ask them to keep quiet because they were debating over what we were talking.
Yeah.
That was very unique for me. You know, I knew we had touched a chord when that happened.
Yeah, which I think you've also done with so many. Sorry, you want to cut?
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you want to have it?
I
It's
might
fine, we
have
can
a
take a cut.
Coffee whisker, but it's okay. No, I'll hold this in my hand. Haan ji.
Yeah, so as you were saying that you know, people start talking about it when, and this happens with a lot of your other, it's happened with other movies as well. So when you actually choose your movies and when you choose your scripts or the character that you're playing, you know, because in the past these movies have always come out with a social message or, you know, something where social responsibility is involved. So is that like a deliberate attempt?
The deliberate attempt is to tell a story.
Tell a story.
Okay, if I start preaching or if the intent of my movie is not to entertain by either involving or engaging, then I've lost the plot.
Yeah.
There's nobody going to come there because there are enough babas around for, you know, every day early in the morning there's a reel that will tell you how to live your life, right? So my primary objective is to entertain. And if that entertainment can be many types, to you know, to make you feel afraid, or to make you feel romantic, or to make you feel engaged. So making you feel engaged and aware is also a part of entertainment.
Yeah.
So I've looked to see if any of my boxes are being ticked as far as that script is concerned.
Yeah, and with this movie we also see that, I mean, of course it's talking about a financial fraud and scam, but it's also having some sort of, you know, it's a satire, it's there's an element of comedy, which I think is Ashwini sir's magic
forte,
that comes
His
in.
office was actually a legendary thing, and I'm so glad you picked all that up from our trailer. Yeah,
Of
but he's an amazing gentleman. You know, he knows exactly what. I remember shooting in Delhi with Ashwini ji, and all the Sarkari people came to tell us where we can shoot and where we cannot shoot. And when they saw him, they were like, "Hey, it's okay, bhai sir. He knows the rules more than we do, so inko chhod do."
Yeah, but that's the magic he kind of brings in, and the trailer really gives that away, you know, and that's why you feel like watching it even more, because you're like, it's serious. Yes, we need to watch it for what they're talking about, and maybe that's actually happening in the real world.
Oh, it definitely is.
But apart from that, it's also fun to watch it. You know, that's why I also really enjoy watching these movies that talk about scams and frauds.
Yeah.
You know, because of the way they are made, and this one seems to be.
Yes, Priya. For example, you cannot deny the fact that you and I have safeguarded ourselves from scams because we heard about it before.
Absolutely.
Or else everybody now is calling saying, "आपके बेटे को जेल में डाल दिया, आप इतना पैसा अकाउंट में डालो, वरना आपको
100%.
digitally arrest किया जाएगा." और फलाना. But we saw all this on social media, so we were able to protect ourselves from it so far. So I think on that front it is engaging, which is what.
Any kind of a fraud or scam that you've recently been part of, like in real life?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, one of the reels that I saw somebody praising Virat Kohli to high heavens. In fact, I think it was Ronaldo, and how much he enjoyed, watching, Kohli bat, and how much of a legend he thought he was. And I was proudly, like, I forwarded that and put it onto Instagram. And then I got a message from Anushka saying, "Bhai, it's a fraud, it's AI. He's not said it. You know, it's really embarrassing." I'm like, oh. So even somebody who, like me, who's pretty aware, was completely taken away. And then when she told me the flaws, I realized, "Arey, haan, ye to bada gadbad hai."
Then you
So
could tell.
so one has to be very careful that, you know, whatever you're forwarding is very credible.
Right. Okay. What is your favorite scene in the movie?
I think it's the climax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the climax where you see when a man is sincere and straightforward, how much power he can actually muster up when he really requires it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it reminded me of my father and all the common men who stay quiet, take a lot of abuses, but when push comes to a shove, they are a force to reckon with.
Yeah. They'll go against anybody. They'll go against the
but the
world.
power they wield is just incredible.
Yeah.
You won't even know what hit you.
Right. So now, if you were to describe Hisaab Barabar in one sentence to our audience and why they must watch it, how would you do that?
Shayad, one of the things that this film will do is make you think really hard and look at your accounts very carefully. They say a man who's not careful about his money is not going to live with it for too long. A fool and his money is soon separated, is what they say.
True.
I think Hisaab Barabar will give you a completely new respect for the kind of money you have and where you have it.
Wonderful. Well, you were talking about Kriti as well. Somewhere she's also mentioned this before, that when you memorize your lines for a scene, you do it like a boss.
Yeah.
Is there like a certain preparation?
Oh, she's talking about me, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. She's very kind. It was lovely working with her, with Neil, Nitin, and everybody on the set. Okay?
Yeah.
And she's such a talented actor herself. I believe that because I do two language films, Tamil and Hindi, with equal intensity.
Yeah.
I have to be careful that the accent of one doesn't, spread on to the other.
Yeah.
And because of that, I made it a habit to completely memorize my lines, no matter how small or large those lines are.
Yeah.
And then I learned, because I never learned acting formally, I learned that when I have the lines at the back of my hand, it's far easier for me to get into character and perform with ease, as opposed to remembering the lines in the shot.
Yeah.
So I made that into a habit as a principle, and
Yeah.
it's worked for me.
But it's great that, you also have this in mind, that because you're doing it in two different languages, even the accent does not really, overlap or mix.
Yeah. So if I say Khana Kha liya, you know immediately कि मद्रासी बोल रहा है.
Yeah.
It has to say Khana Kha liya, bhai. It has to have the Urdu has to be right.
Great. Now, before I end the interview, I want to ask you, देखते हैं आपका हिसाब, मतलब पक्का नहीं, I'm not going to test you with any mathematical problems, but I'll just see if you remember your numbers. एक फिल्म के सेट पर आप कितने कप्स चाय या कॉफ़ी के पीते हैं?
दिन में मेरे ख्याल से 5 या 6 है.
5 या 6. Even when you're like on a film set, it's only 5 or 6, you don't go beyond that.
No.
Okay. How many locations do you think you've traveled so far for shoots in your career?
That is one of the biggest privileges of any actor when you work, and especially if somebody like me, because I do two languages, Tamil and Hindi. I get to the most exotic places in the world. I think I have taken the key of every hotel that I've lived in.
Yeah.
And I think it's about 360 odd locations so far.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. How many times do you think you've said I love you on screen?
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe 10 times.
Yeah, 10 times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Can you believe it that I'm supposed to be this romantic hero, but I've barely done any romantic movies. I've only done Rehna Hai Tere Dil Mein.
Correct.
And I've done Tanu Vej Mano.
Tanu Vej.
And maybe a little bit of Dil Vil Pyar Vyar, but most of my films, there isn't an opportunity for me to say I love you.
Say I love you. Yeah. You're in love with your job or...
Yeah, I mean, look at all the films I've done. Rang De Basanti, where I've said I love you.
Yes.
And then there is Rocketry, where I've said I love you. But apart from that...
Right, okay. Last one. How many birthdays do you think you've celebrated on a film set?
Oh... It's a good thing to ponder about.
And you can even tell us one of
so
the
you know
memories.
what? I'm going to tell you a secret. Trivia. I hate celebrating my birthday on the set. In fact, I hate celebrating anybody's birthday on the set because they bring the cake and the guy's embarrassed and everybody. So I've told my producers कि भैया मेरा birthday ना set पे मत celebrate किया कर. So the production manager नहीं sir. I said नहीं मेरे लिए ना it's been very unlucky अगर जब भी मेरी वजह से cake कटा है set पे.
You made that up.
Yeah, I made that up. So that really works because I नहीं भैया unlucky वाली चीज़ नहीं करते छोड़ देते. So I because I think I don't know, I get very queasy and very aware when cakes are being cut on the set for my birthday and stuff like that.
Right. Okay, fine. Alright, इतने ही numbers पूछने थे मुझे.
अच्छा, how
आपसे.
sweet.
कितने fans हैं आपकी दुनिया में? Last one.
जितना कि मैं count नहीं कर सकता.
Good. ऐसा ही होना चाहिए.
जी.
No, but thank you so much, Maddie.
you,
It was a
Priya.
pleasure talking to you as
Likewise.
always, and we wish you all the very best with हिसाब बराबर. हम सब देखेंगे और फिर हम सब बातें करेंगे, debate करेंगे,
जी.
and we'll actually be checking our phones, I'm sure, for these kind of frauds and scams that happen in the world.
And be safe from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure
Thank
meeting
you
you,
so
Priya.
much.
Thank you.